Welcome to this recording where you're going to listen to insightful moments recorded during live coaching sessions with my clients who come from diverse professional backgrounds. And if you like what you hear today, please share it with your friends and colleagues. And remember to hit the subscribe button now and ensure that you never miss any other episode. Thank you. It's very different telling people information from sharing a story when you're speaking. Sometimes some of my clients, when I'm listening to their presentations, it sounds robotic and just listed. It's like everything that's said sounds like it's calculated and regimented and so lined up that it sounds so unreal and it's not personable enough. There is no element of emotion or what we call heart content, expression, intonation, gesturing. The information is just almost read out. So here I always suggest to communicate with more adjectives, descriptions, and feelings in what it is that you say. Now that's only if you drop into your heart space. If you keep speaking from your head, you're going to be very aligned, like everything's going to be linear. And speaking from the heart is sometimes very risky in corporate environments because people feel exposed. So one of the ways to handle that is just go into storytelling, not information telling. Now, storytelling is about bringing people into the story, which is the emotional content of losses and gains, or perhaps pain, pleasure. And here you would say something like, are you like me? I mean, have you ever gone through a situation where you have felt stuck, alone, whatever the story, whatever the content is? So choosing the right story that supports your message is important. Here you're actually using more descriptions and you're sharing emotions that you can relate to. It can even be a story about somebody else. However, you're embodying it. So you're stepping into their shoes and describing it from how you can relate to it. So you must feel it in your heart or gut. This is where the feelings are. There are no feelings in our head. Our heads only respond to what your heart feels or your gut feels. If you want to know more about this, go to 3 Brains in Google. And it's the work of the 3 independent brains and how we can communicate from each one of those separately. But the idea is to use all 3 in our communication. So in story sharing or telling, it's very different to information telling. And the point I'm trying to make here is about including a little bit of both, left and right brain. I don't know if that still exists, but the difference there is about creative and linear, listening and learning. So mixing it all both together, which is you're using both statistics and proof and evidence and more linear information, supported by the stories and the emotions and the hero's journey in it, which is the process of change. And if you want to know more about the hero's journey, there's a great movie called Finding Joe. And it's about the ordinary world and then the call to action. And it's a wonderful model for storytelling. And there are about 7 stages. But you're moving from the ordinary world, things that we all relate to, the emotional side of it, the adjectives, the description. And here you would want to express it with your voice tone too. So you want the intonation, you want the gesturing, and really embodying it and feeling it and being authentic with the message of that story. And here is where you're drawing people in. So it's the ordinary world where we all are, and then the call for change, and then probably the obstacle that tries to stop that, the doubt, and eventually the journey which leads to the hero's problem solving or closing of the issue, which is the solution. So in your presentations is to include some story sharing, and don't say it like you're just telling it, but share it emotionally. Slow it down, pausing, inflecting, dropping the pitch, going really up, going really down, using, like I said, lots of feeling words and adjectives to describe your story that backs up your message. Now, is it always appropriate? Well, maybe not always, depending on what your message is about. But whenever you can, do use a story, a metaphor, or an analogy. All of those are creative ways of describing your message in a way that people can feel it in their bodies. So they're not just hearing it, but they're feeling it, and they will remember it better. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this recording. I hope it has helped you. Please remember to subscribe to this channel. I'll see you next time.